Hey, welcome to the Salt Lake AME Consortium, composed of 10 different companies here from the Salt Lake area. Amberly and I are from OC Tanner, one of those 10 companies, and today we are visiting LR Dynamics.
LR Dynamics has been in business for over 70 years, and we're excited to go in and check out what they're doing. They're all about forward motion and positive change, and we're excited to see what's going on.
Let's go check it out.
Welcome you guys to LR Dynamics, and thank our host, Tyler, and all the other folks from LR Dynamics that have put together a great tour for you today. You know, we're a collection of like-minded companies and organizations who've come together because our companies are stronger, more robust, and financially successful because of the way we practice operational excellence. We've seen our team members and management become more personally powerful and effective in the way they contribute to the success of their business. We're hungry to learn more about how to do things better, and we feel compelled to share what we know so that work and life can become more intrinsically rewarding for all. With that, I'll turn it over to Tyler.
I wanted to start by just giving an overview of our company to give you a little bit of background before we start our tour. First off, this is a picture of me standing in front of our old building. This is our old location. We used to be located on 17th South and about 3rd West. We used to be called Linruss Corporation. We were started in 1949 by my grandfather and his brother, Lynn and Russ. Really creative with the name. So that's how we got the name Linruss. When I bought the business, we changed the name to LR Dynamics, keeping the LR from Linruss, as you can see on the left there. 1949 to about 1990, we were just a small shop. And so it was my grandpa and his brother basically doing whatever customers wanted them to do. They were metal shop, they were tinkers, they were self-taught engineers, and they like to invent things. And you'll see how that impacted our company in the future. They also, at the time, in about the 50s, my grandpa started to design folding basketball hoops. So if you've ever been in a high school with a folding basketball hoop or a church or a rec center, my grandpa started to design those back in the 50s. And with that, they also designed the lifting winch systems that would lift those basketball hoops. Starting in the middle of the 80s, and starting in about 1990, they came out with another product that my grandpa invented called the auto lock. And if you look to the back, we have this is an example of what the auto lock, the story of the auto lock. As those basketball hoops would fold up into the ceiling, usually they would be over bleachers, and so if the cable broke, anything happened, those basketball hoops were just like giant pendulums. They would come down and they could hit people. So that was about 1990 to 2007. We really started to diversify our customer base and grow. About 2013 to 2018 was all about rebuilding our reputation, improving our products, and growing our customer base again. So 2018 to 2022 has been all about evaluating, exploring, looking at what we do, taking a great company, a great foundation, and trying to improve upon it. And so we've really dissected and looked at every single process in our business over the last 5 years. We're trying to diversify our revenue, diversify our risk, and really just create a great company, a great place to work, and something that will continue on for more generations to come. We also have another side of our business that we're growing, which is the services side of our business. So as you walk around, you'll see we have a lot of capabilities. We have machine shops, we have an aluminum foundry, we have assembly teams, we have engineering. And so we also leverage those capabilities to serve other customers. Here are some examples of products that we've worked on. We joke around that we do some work building some parts for some tanks, and then we also do things to entertain people. You know, tanks entertaining people, that's what we do. We also make parts for other bigger machines. Everyone's familiar with pack size, with Stadler. So we have a wide variety of customers there that we do services work for. Another time that you've used our product, if you ski or snowboard, is we make the ski lift wheels that go on ski lifts. So those are done in our foundry and our machine shop. Some things about where we're going. Our goal is definitely financial growth. Part of our diversification strategy, part of being a sustainable business. We have some 10-year revenue and earnings targets. So 2033 is a big year for us because that's our 10-year growth plan is really tied to that, to keeping our eyes focused on 2033 and what we can accomplish by then. We want to have 3 to 5 different divisions. Right now we have 3, and I'll highlight what those are. We want to be a mix of products and services, and in each of those areas, do them really well. Most of all, we want to be a great place to work. We talk about that every single day. So some of the things that we think about as we grow our business is we want to be a sustainable business. So we want to have a long-term view. That's our 10-year plan right now. We want to have a strong financial position. We want to be profitable. We want to have diversity of revenue, so we have less risk. We want to have capacity to do more, both in equipment and people. Few to no surprises, which is such a nice thing to think about. It's sometimes hard to achieve. We want to have the right machinery and technology. We want to be on the cutting edge. We also want to use technology that exists today and use in other industries like software to help our business operate better. We also want to save for a rainy day. Recessions come and go, and so we want to make sure that we are stable from a cash perspective. These are our 3 businesses right now, our 3 product lines. You can see the middle, Linrust Gymnasium Products, still exists as a brand. That's what what's the name we sell our products under. We sell those worldwide. We sell them anywhere basketball is popular. We sell our products there through our customers. That was acquired in 2018. And then the next one was acquired in 2021 up in Ogden. That's Focus Manufacturing Services. We do metal fabrication, machining, and welding, in addition to our foundry services and machining services we do here. And then just barely in January, as of January 1st, we acquired a company called Specialty Steel Services. So that the big play with that one is to diversify our risk and our revenue. So some of you may be customers of Specialty Steel, so now you're customers of us. So as you walk around today with the different groups, you're going to see examples of how we've been striving to do these things. We really believe in seek perfection as a principle. We recognize that there's always going to be a better way to do something. Our company is coming up on 75 years, and we've been doing some of the things we do for a really long time. But over the last couple of years, many of our processes have changed, and changed for the better. Over the last 2 years, we've more than doubled our throughput at our company. We're in 20,000 square feet less space than we were in our last facility. And we went from working almost 24/7 to just a regular 410 shift. So that's the progress we've been able to make as we've been working on these things. And we'll also highlight some of the things we've been working on culturally. We feel like we've seen some progress when it comes to how it feels to work here. We want to create a place that we want to work. I don't want to put in my 2 weeks notice because I don't like working here. And so I want to come to work every day looking forward to having a good experience and learning and growing every day. Okay, so we are now going to switch over to our tour session.
We go now to the LR Dynamics official tour. First, we're spending some time with Eric Johnson and Michael Wood as they focus on process, embracing scientific thinking, seeking perfection, improving pull and flow, and assuring quality at the source. Let's watch and listen to what they have to share today.
Who's read this book? Awesome book, tons of great ideas, and we basically started forming our company around this book and implementing a lot of what they've done in the book. And so today, as we go to each of the groups, they're going to share some of the things that bugged them and some of the things that they did to make changes to those. The cool thing about it is it empowered each of the different departments to make change. we're going to head out. We're going to show you a board that has some of the things that bug people. They write them on a board. So
Each one of our main departments here will touch every morning on something that they've done that day that checks off a project that they've been working on. So these are their projects right now. We can see them in real time and see what they're working on and come and cross it off as it gets done. Yeah.
So welcome, yeah, this is the maintenance team, plus we have another one. This whole place is kind of our area. We're not just stuck in one place. We do have a general area that we work from. Now the question was asked, what bothers us? What bothers us and what can we do better?
So before, with our waste oil, we were taking it and dumping it 5 gallons at a time into this hole, which we had a funnel in right there. And what would happen is we have a lot of people that are not my height working here, a lot of people who are a little bit older, and they were still trying to get the bucket over. So we either had to have someone who was a little more physically able or someone designated to go empty those buckets, which became a pain because they regularly fill with the oil that the machines produce. So instead of lifting it over here, I'm still programming it a little bit, we dump it into here. The other problem that solved is that's a diaphragm pump. We were constantly rebuilding the diaphragm pump. And we found out the reason is because this was building all kinds of different metal chips and sludge, but we put filter material on the bottom and the pump has to pump from below the filter material. So now it filters it, it moves it over here, and then this diaphragm pump will pump it into there, which heats it up, which evaporates all the coolant and reduces the volume and gets rid of the water mixed in with the oil.
That was just that was an improvement that the company needed as a whole, and so the maintenance team took it upon themselves to eliminate a waste for us. This is our foundry. One interesting thing to note, our old foundry at our old location was probably double this size with the same amount of equipment. So we haven't downsized our equipment as we downsized here. We became more space efficient with what we had. As Tyler said, I think we lost 20,000 square feet or something like that.
So what they're doing is they're dropping in these ingots. You can see back there, those pallets. They take those, melt those down to a liquid, pour it into a mold, and that's what you're seeing in these castings. Some parts start in the machine shop, come here. Some start in the foundry, go to machining, come back, get another part put onto it, and then go back. So the thing I learned when I came here, we as a company had never done an full inventory count in 70 years. I made sure we shut down the entire company. We did our first full inventory count as a company. It was amazing. We weren't off as much as we thought, but we were off. But the good thing about it is now we're able to see where our deficiencies are in some of our bill of materials.
One of our biggest improvements here is at the end of this line, we'll test our hoist to make sure that they can lift the load of a basketball hoop. We used to only have one of those testers, and we didn't do much with the data that we got from testing each hoist. This is our assembly shop manager, Moninat.
Usually we have a lot of parts that keep changing around, and then sometimes the new guy come and they put wrong stuff in the production. So we do have a meeting 40 minutes every day to make it improve on the mistake. So we do every morning 40 minutes, get together and try to find out to make sure everything go right. Even the new guy come, they can put everything the same what the old people work there. So this is try to eliminate aid waste, the waste that costs production less.
So when we started the early morning process improvement time, we learned a lot. They were living with a lot of just a tool that was kind of broken, and they were living with it. a lot of times they just didn't say anything. And so once we started the process improvement and checking on them, we're like, we can just get you a new tool and speed up the process rather than living with it. So there's little things that were so simple to change that our output increased dramatically.
This area is our bread and butter. This is the salted butter, the better butter, so to speak. This is where it really started. This is our main product, and this is that safety device that Russ held up earlier.
So here at the machine shop, we are filling the gear case with oil. We come up with innovative ideas to see what we can mistake-proof. As of yesterday, which is our recent mistake-proof idea that we came up with, is that before we just had this oil line that we would just feed it into the gear case. Now, with that being said, once it's being fed into the gear case, sometimes the oil, when it dispenses, it creates a pressure to where it can shoot back out the oil line. So one of our coworkers came up with, hey, maybe we could create a little tab at the end so where we could screw it in at the gear case, just like that. And now we could prevent the oil from overflowing, spilling everywhere, which is also the safety of others if they're not aware. We could save oil also instead of having it spill on the ground, wasting money. So that's one of our mistake proofs.
We go now to the second station with Brandy Rawson and Scott Jorgensen. They'll both be talking about their morning meeting, the Obeya team, visual management, and EOQ, EPQ, and Kanban. Let's listen in.
In our morning meeting, this is a time when literally every employee gets together, we gather around, we have a specific agenda that we follow. We'll have an improvement highlight from one of our teams. So today it was supply chain. We talked about our progress on our Kanban system that we're developing and other things. And then we also try to make some connection with a customer that we're serving. And then we do training. This training, the whole meeting lasts about 20 minutes. So this training's about a 10-minute kind of thing. Today it was on embrace scientific thinking, which is one of the Shingo principles. That's our morning ritual. It builds a connection between all the employees too, because you get in your own world and don't really connect. And we do some other things. Justin is doing HR work for us. We're having a cornhole tournament right now. And we're trying to make this a great place to work. And so the employees know each other better because of some of those things.
Someone asked what Obeya means, and it translates to big room or war room, or it's just where we all come together. And it basically consists of at least one person from each department. Some have 2, some have 3 people on the Obeya team, but there's someone from every department mandatory in this meeting every day. We figure it out there all together at once instead of me running around trying to find the machine shop guy. Can you do this today? And the shipping, can you ship this out today? And it just saves a lot of time. And we switch it every day. Someone leads the Obeya meeting. That's that feeling of we're all a team is what we really try to strive with here and in this Obeya.
Most of our parts don't come from the outside. We actually make them here. So we have EOQ or EPQ. EOQ if a part's coming from the outside, knowing how many to order. Depends on what the lead time is and everything else. So we've done this, and a lot of this thinking came from the Obeya group and then was implemented by our supply chain team and our ops team. So we've reduced setup times a lot on machines, number of setups, also done things to improve our speed at changing over machines. And out of this has come a little bit more order so that we can create a Kanban. So we'll produce the 2800. We'll know when we get to the point where we need 5 production days. We'll leave a little buffer
and we'll know when we need to start producing those again. So there'll be a Kanban card in there in our inventory. So it's all very visual. We're also tracking it on our ERP, but most of it, we want it to be visual to people.
This is the whole Obeya board, and different departments have different sections. We have our projects that we're working on. Right now we're trying sprints. We prioritize them, so whatever's at the top is the biggest priority, and we just kind of go down the list. So with this, it gave us the opportunity to basically create gates on what becomes a project, when it becomes a project, and what is the biggest priority, right? So with the Obeya, we decide what projects should be worked on, and then they go into projects, and then we organize them by priority.
I think for me personally, coming from another company where there was no Obeya board, we had meetings that would take 2 hours and everyone was talking about their own problem, what was most important. In the Obeya meeting, your problem is on the board and everyone knows what we're going to talk about, and it's way more structured. You don't have 2-hour-long meetings. So everyone gets their time to talk about what they want to talk about, and it really helps to streamline meetings.
In the third and last station, we hear from Tyler Margetts and Steve Carman as they talk about respecting every individual looks like, as they focus on employee surveys, monthly one-on-ones, QR codes, and improving the work environment.
This is our monthly one-on-one coaching template. So everybody who has employees that reports to them is expected to sit down with their employees once a month with their team and to have just an open conversation about a variety of things. That we want people to feel like they're growing and progressing. So we have personal growth as one of the goal categories. And that could be like, I want to learn how to program a CNC machine. And that could come from somebody who's on our assembly line. Company priorities is another goal that can change over time. And then the third goal category is a Shingo principle. One thing I want to highlight though is, and one of the reasons why we're moving to a fourth revision of this is we want it to feel less like a review and more like just an open coaching one-on-one kind of conversation. So we have 50 employees here, about 25 in Ogden, and our new company has about 5. We have about 80 to 85 employees. The people who we've had to let go, it hasn't been because of their skill. Like we actually parted ways with people who are really skilled, and it hurt us quite a bit actually to part ways. But we felt like it was necessary to preserve the kind of culture that we were trying to build here. As we walk around the floor, you've already walked around a little bit, but we want to highlight some specific things. One is the QR code system that we use. We use a simple program called JotForm. It's actually pretty robust when it comes to customization. So we create QR codes for everything here. For employee feedback, for operational things like requesting materials, to even what music people want to request for improvement time. If you come here between 8 and 8:40 every morning, you will hear music emanating from this building. A really wide variety of music. It just has to be mostly PG. That's what we've established.
Mostly.
Yeah, there's some exceptions. Obviously, safety is a really important thing. We've been continually building on our safety program to try to invest in it and make it better. We've trained employees on how to use the AED. We have first aid trauma carts now. What I've learned from other companies is, especially from my time at OC Tanner, when I was at OC Tanner, I was on the software side, but I got to observe a lot from on their operations side. OC Tanner does a good job of making their place a nice place to work, like meaning it's a nice environment. We're slowly building our art collection here. We try to mix things up on our walls. Without our art, it's going to be pretty gray. We have some original art from local artists that we've introduced here, and we're continuing to do that to add more. So here's our QR code set right now. This doesn't have everything on it, but this is some new processes that we've introduced. You may have seen this with Eric on your tour, but purchase requests, material requests. This company feedback one goes to anybody in a leadership position, and whenever we get these, it's all hands on deck to address whatever comes through. We're Paul Akers fanboys here. We like to follow how he's implemented the principles. We feel like he's done a good job, and so we try to borrow from him a lot. A before picture and an after picture, and if you want to tell us anything about it, that's it. We don't ask for anything else. They can expand on it if they want, but we're really careful to keep it simple. Having been on a tour of some of your companies, this almost feels like a given, but for here it wasn't. Good lighting and good flooring. So as you walked around, you could see some of our floor is newer and some of it's older. We're in the process of slowly but surely recoating all of our floors, increasing the lighting in our facility so that it just fills up like a better place to be. And so also the temperature, and we've invested a lot in temperature, especially in the summer. We have 3 million BTU running all the time over in our foundry. That tends to create a problem in the summertime. Really answering the question, how would I want it to be if I were working there all day long? Would I want to be like sweating all day, super hot and uncomfortable? I'd want an air conditioner blowing on me. So that's what we try to use as our standard. It's taken a few tries on the casters, but this is our ice cream cart. We're not doing ice cream right now because it's cold, but I just bought some decals, says thank you, has our logo on it. So this has actually been one of my favorite things that we've done. It's been a game changer for me because it's an opportunity for me to go talk to every single person and to, one, say thank you, two, acknowledge that, like, hey, in the summer it's kind of warm, it's nice to take a little break outside of just the regular break time. And then the third thing is it just gives, without fail, I will have really kind of meaningful conversations with people every time I go out. When I worked at OC Town, I remember my first day, I sat down in front of like a nice camera and it wasn't like a mug shot, it was more like a nice photo. And we've been trying to do the same thing for our employees. We've invested in the equipment to take nice photos of them. These photos also go on Bamboo HR, so you really can get to know your coworkers better. You know, we have our foundry, it's really hot. It's like it's always over 100 degrees in that area. We try to manage that as best as we can. But we provided water bottles to all of our employees, and they can come and get like nice water. It's not a drinking fountain. They can fill their water bottles and take it with them.
Well, we're here with Tyler Margetts. He is the CEO of LR Dynamics, and we had a fantastic visit today. Loved the tour and meeting with your folks. We want to talk a little bit about what are maybe some of the takeaways from the visit you're hoping people will learn.
Today's topic was back to basics, right? So I'm all about back to basics because I'm a simple thinker. And so today we talked about all the different principles that we're trying to espouse here in our company. And I think the main thing I wanted to get people to take away is that it all starts with respect for every individual and leading with humility. And then from there, you create a culture that is ripe for growth and for embracing these other principles that come along. So we emphasized a lot of things about even things as simple as like providing water and ice for our employees to make it more comfortable for them. So those are the things that really make the biggest difference as we build our culture, a culture of continuous improvement.
Well, it's great that you can really tell that you're building a culture where the leadership and the operators, the employees, have a very safe place to operate and to communicate and to address different issues. And one of the great examples I think that you've reduced and eliminated some of the barriers was the ice cream cart.
Yeah.
Where you're hauling that around. And so, like you said, you're creating a very unique opportunity where you've noticed that just by handing them ice cream, letting them know that you care about their well-being, that you want them to be comfortable, you want them to be happy at work, and what that has done for you. How have you felt like that's changed for you as a leader?
Yeah, so I call that my game changer. Really, I borrowed it from somebody else. I was on the other side of it before and really appreciated it. And so it's amazing. Every time I go out, I always have a meaningful conversation with somebody. And I get to know them better. They share things that they wouldn't share in a meeting or even in like a formal kind of one-on-one. It's really just a casual conversation. It's giving me the opportunity to thank them for what they're doing. The card itself says thank you on it. And the other thing I love about it is it's kind of created this kind of pattern which is like a cultural thing, right? Like it's something almost like a tradition that they know that when they see me walking around with this cart, they know it's a chance. They're going to get a little break because they're going to be able to just sit and eat their ice cream for a minute. But they're also going to get a chance to ask me questions, and I can ask them questions, and it's just usually a very positive experience. So I love that it's like a routine.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the way that your employees were so proud of the work that they were sharing about, that they had improvements. In fact, one of the team members on the floor shared with us an improvement that he had made the day right before.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed that it was already implemented, that it was already going, and that they had just reduced, and he could talk so much about what it was and what it meant and how it worked. It was that little screw around the oil when they put the oil in. And to the improvement mindset, what would you say has been the biggest change to really help team members do that immediately and take pride in that?
So it really starts really early on with how we recruit people. So it's really hard sometimes to teach the mindset. It's a lot easier to start with somebody who has a growth mindset, who's willing to change, who's always trying to do better. So some of our employees we've hired from really different places. Like we have 2 employees that were chefs before, and so they were kind of burned out in that industry, and but wanted to try something new. And they've been 2 of our best proponents of continuous improvement and of that mindset of like, hey, I want to find a better way to do this. But interestingly enough, we also have veterans at our company who have been here for 30 plus years who have jumped on. And I really think it comes from us talking about it all the time. And it's an open conversation. It's not like you're gonna do this. It's like, well, let me show you this better way to do something. And I'm going to be doing it myself, and I'm going to be here to help you do it. And so I'm kind of like taking you along with me on the journey. So we're building momentum in our culture. Old employees, new employees, experienced, inexperienced, they're seeing the benefit of it, and it actually makes the workday better.
So I remember when it was Linrus and went to visit your old location.
Okay.
And it was a good organization.
Yeah.
But with the LR Dynamics, you've really taken it to a new level. And using the shingle model and the 2-second lean as that foundation has really set you on a good path. And so you got to check out LR Dynamics. They're doing some great things here. Their products are getting better and better. They're focusing on trying to provide really good quality products for their customers. And so you got to check them out. It's a good organization. They're expanding into some other new ventures with some other companies that they're working with. So you gotta go check them out on their website. And so happy to meet with you today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And look forward to more visits in the future.
Yeah, awesome, great, thank you.
All right, thank you.